So, hello everyone. Welcome to our webinar today. We will discuss about how we can use the power of digital and green skills to prepare people and businesses for a green and digital future. So, our webinar today is organized within the All Digital Weeks campaign. I'm Selim from All Digital, so I will host this discussion. And I would like to first give the floor to Peter, our CEO, who is leading our All Digital Weeks activities, so he can welcome you to our webinar. Please, Peter.
Thank you very much, Selim. And I also wish to share my screen. My name is Peter Pavlodi. I'm working for All Digital, Chief Operating Officer. And this webinar today is part of the All Digital Weeks annual awareness raising campaign. Our motto for the campaign is very simple, but as simple as important. Enhance your digital skills. So what is the All Digital Weeks campaign about? This is one of the major pan-European awareness raising campaign. And what are we raising awareness on? We raise awareness on digital skills and competencies that are needed in today's digitally transformed society. But we are also raising awareness on digital competence education, and in particular the All Digital Network. Our member organizations, more than 100 member organizations from 29 European countries, who share a common mission to enhance digital skills of all Europeans. Our campaign has a 15 years of history, and since 2010, our campaign has helped about 1.5 million people either to get online on the first time or through different activities to enhance their digital skills. What's going on during this campaign? Our campaign is 3 weeks long. We started on the 17th of March and continue our activities until the 4th of October. Our campaign is supported by the European Commission, and it involves a great number of organizations who are organizing different training activities, events, conferences, webinars, and they are our member organizations and other partners all across Europe. We are organizing events and activities on different topics, and you can see the themes of this year, including basic digital skills, more advanced digital skills for green and digital transition, or we are discussing cybersecurity and safer internet, also the application of AI in education and training, and other topics. Our campaign is supported by strategic partners, other European level organizations, associations, networks, who are supporting our campaign, and they spread the word to make sure that we reach a European level impact with our activities. To make sure that our campaign is reaching the grassroots levels, we are working together with 23, we call them national coordinators. They are member organizations from 22 European countries, and they organize and coordinate the campaign activities at national, regional, and local levels. I mentioned that the campaign is supported and co-funded by the European Union, and we also enjoy the support of our corporate partner, Microsoft. What's happening during this campaign? Hundreds of events are taking part during these 3 weeks. We expect this year more than 700 events that will be shown also on the All Digital Weeks campaign map at the alldigitalweeks.eu website. And if you check out the map of the campaign, you can see an increasing number of events there, more and more every day. And who are organizing these events? Hundreds of organizations, our network members, and other partners from 25, 30, or even more European countries. So how you can support our campaign. If you are an event organizer, please add your event to the map of events on the campaign's website. Follow us, and on social media, you can find our news of the campaign on X, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook. And follow and take part the activities that are listed on the All Digital Weeks alldigitalweeks.eu website. Thank you very much. I hope I managed to raise some interest about the campaign, and let's focus on this interesting webinar today. Thank you, Celine.
Thank you very much, Peter. It's always really exciting to hear about this large-scale campaign with lots of events, activities, campaigns across Europe. And today, I think it's a pleasure to be a part of this campaign with this webinar. So today we are hosting this webinar in the framework of the GreenETU project, where All Digital is participating. GreenETU project is training vulnerable groups to have job opportunities in green and digital future. And today it will be very interesting to hear about different perspectives of making the best of digital and green skills for the future. So for this, let me introduce you to our speakers. So first we have Angeliki from EAEA, European Association of Adult Education. They are running a project, Just for All, focusing on innovative training tools for promoting just transition. So she will share with us her perspective from the side of adult education and lifelong learning. And then we have Almudena from Technology Center of Furniture and Wood in Spain. So they are actually running another project, New EcoSmart, to revitalize rural areas with green and digital skills. So we will hear about the local and rural aspect here. And we have also Sophie from Digital SME Alliance. They are running a Digital for Sustainability project, and they are focusing on empowering the European workforce for sustainable digital transition. And myself, I will also try to share some insights from GreenETU, which is focusing on vulnerable groups and also a training program for VET, vocational education and training. So with this, let's start with Angeliki. I think her presentation will be like a keynote to our webinar, because she will give a broad overview about just transition, and she will inspire us for further discussion on specific skills. So the floor is yours, Angeliki. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Celine. And also thank you, Peter, for introducing the vast campaign of the All Digital Weeks. It's always a pleasure to have a spot here and have such a platform with very interesting colleagues and a very, very interested and engaged audience. So really looking forward to it. I will try my best, as Celine said, to maybe set the note a bit on what we mean by a just transition and what competencies for this just future we are discussing. So with that, I will also share my screen with a brief PowerPoint, if that's okay with everybody, and I will hope to make it as interesting as possible. So let's see. Okay, so we will be discussing in the context of the power of digital and green skills, the work that we are currently holding for the Just for All project. The Just for All project is an ESF Plus project funded by the EASI strand. And we're trying alongside Solidar, the coordinator of the project, and ICAE, the International Council of Adult Education, to bring forward our understanding on the significance of the just transition for adult learning and education, as well as lifelong learning. So in this context, what we try to do, that you will see by the rest of the panel and the rest of my colleagues here today, we try to identify the challenges, the solutions and opportunities, and the way forward in this context. And when we're talking about the main challenge in the context of a just transition, we're talking about a just transition, or just a transition, as we tend to say. The word is changing, but what is our approach towards this change? So we tend to start in the context of Just for All and our massive open online course with a question of, what does a just future look like? So to answer to that, we are visiting the just transition concept that has been around for many years, actually from the workers' movement in the 70s, and has since then assumed various connotations and importances. We see it as what it currently is in the past 10 years, with the designated Just Transition Fund, the JTF, by the Commission as well, as a very significant topic that connects societal challenges, such as the digital transformation, facing climate change and other environmental issues, to the increased pace of changes in the field of education and employment. So in that context, we see that to address these challenges, we cannot discuss the just transition without also perceiving the UN Sustainable Development Goals as a very key element of our journey. And especially you will see here that out of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals, we are watching more closely goals number 1, 4, 8, and 10, meaning no poverty, quality education, decent work and economic growth, and reduced inequalities. And we see that because we see a just transition, and we see a fairer future, a future that has equipped citizens, as a future that actually has to consider quality education to provide people with the essential skills for a green and sustainable future. We have to consider work conditions and employability. We have to consider multiple inequalities, and we have to consider the economic status and poverty status of the people in our countries in a global scale and global partnership. In that, we also see, as our friend in targeting those challenges, the European Union Green Deal as a package of policy initiatives that can help us set the tone in everything that we do, and approaching the skills that we want and the competencies that we want to communicate to our audiences, to our learners, to our students, as a key pillar of this effort, as it underlines the need for a holistic and cross-sectoral approach, which is very, very relevant, and we will see that today more essentially. So in that, when we're talking about challenges, we have to address the challenge of growth versus justice, the challenge of economic benefit versus the the actual benefit to our learners, to our communities, to our societies. And in that, we are exploring several concepts. One of the key concepts that we are exploring is degrowth, is happy degrowth, or as we say, like a well-being economy. In an essence, this need, this challenge that we have to redefine the concept of growth and its principles, moving away from the idea of progress and well-being as only or mostly linked to increase in financial or material resources, but also reconceptualize prosperity as it could be measured not by material excess, but by the quality of life it offers within planetary boundaries and within personal boundaries for our future of the planet, but also future generations. So to address all of this, what do we propose? What is the solution in building competencies for such a future? First of all, when we're talking about competencies, we see skills, competencies as like interlinked terms. For us, the definition that we're using is seeing competencies as broader attributes that refer to the ability to use knowledge, skills, social and or methodological abilities in work or study situations and in professional and personal development. So we encompassing skills, but we go a little bit above and beyond the skills capacities. In all of that, I'm not going to go into too much of a detail, but maybe once you get this presentation, it would be helpful to see some of the competencies frameworks that we use to address and we use to study the competencies that we want for this just future. And we have European Union frameworks like GreenComp, DIDSComp, ENFRAComp, and LifeComp. We have other institutional approaches coming from the Council of Europe and UNESCO, and we have several independent frameworks that we find super useful coming from specific projects like Transval, that EAA, the European Association for the Education of Adults, that I am representing today, was a member of, two of the European trade unions institutions, as well as the other Intercultural Foundation. So all of these frameworks and all of the people around the discussion on green transition, just transition, and skills for the future all say, and everybody agrees on, transversal competencies. So the future, and surely a just future, needs to be more transversal in competence of all of its citizens. So what do we mean by transversal competencies? We mean any skill and competence that are learned and proven abilities which are commonly seen as necessary or valuable for effective action in virtually any kind of work, learning or life activity. They are transversal because they're not exclusively related to any particular context. So they're not exclusively related to one job, one occupation, one academic discipline, but can actually benefit every citizen. So based on a global citizenship education, meaning like including everybody in this effort to define these key skills and competencies, we have identified 4 very key ones. The first one is critical thinking, analyzing complex issues, identifying misinformation, evaluating transition pathways. We have identified problem solving, becoming innovative, and finding equitable solutions, collaborative and interdisciplinary approaches. We need more of a systemic kind of thinking, understanding the interconnectedness of social, economic and environmental systems. And of course, we're looking for active citizens, engaging in democratic processes, advocating for just policies, participating in community solutions. So in all of this, I'm just gonna be done in a couple of minutes. I won't take more of your time, but we need to constantly be adapting to this evolving landscape. We need to be tackling mis and disinformation. We need to be, consistent with our storytelling and making our wording and our advocacy work more, engaging. We should be thinking about the futures not as a sci-fi element, but as something that is already happening, and we have to consider what is our theoretical approach towards this. Because I don't want to take more time from my co-panelists because I know that they have some amazing things to share with you. In essence, when we're looking forward, we're looking towards a future that is rooted in competence and collaboration. We require a fundamental shift in how we think, act, and engage with the world. We need to build more inclusive societies. We need to foster a more sustainable and resilient future for all. And in that, we need to consider to be the change in our organizations that we want to see in the world. We need to develop these competencies ourselves in order to preach to our context and to preach to our learners, and to also be more effective in teaching them, in aligning them with the individual and the collective action. So we definitely need to bridge the gap between internal and external change, and to really reflect on what is feasible, what is doable, and what actually has an effect in our well-being and in our values. So if as an organization you're looking into cultivating these competencies for the just transition, we invite you to reflect on your values, work on aligning them with your objectives, and then define the actual practice that you want to follow to make this change happen. So to help you with that, we have the Just for All massive open online course. It's 8 full modules, more or less. Today I kind of presented the work that we're doing on competencies for the future. That's the 5th module out of all. You see that we're tackling social innovation, empowerment, grassroots initiatives, strategic partnerships, campaigning, and innovative learning methods. We have a bunch of very interesting initiatives that we have highlighted from our affiliated partners in Cyprus, Ireland, France, and Sweden. But most importantly, before I close, we invite you to join us and follow our MOOC, our module, and hopefully you will find it quite interesting, if I may say so myself. And I can tell you that Green at You project, as well as our colleagues, our colleague Almudena, were experts in this context, and we have a really nice webinar on the topic as well. So hopefully, if this wasn't enough, you can also go there and also have a look afterwards. So I'm going to thank you. And of course, you can contact me whenever you wish at angeliki@eaa.org. Hopefully super simple, but yeah, I'm going to maybe stop now. I hope I didn't take too much of your time.
Yes, so thank you, Angeliki. So obviously it was a great framework for discussion. And from your presentation, I think I will take it from there, your word on future-proofing competences. Future-proofing competences. So I think this is where GreenETU presentation will make sense, as we build up a training program based on a selection of competences from 3 European frameworks, DigComp, EntreComp, and GreenComp. But before moving to GreenETU, I have a question for speakers and also for participants. They can post it in the chat or Q&A. So what do you think? If every adult had basic digital and green skills, how would Europe look like in 2030? So obviously we are referring to the digital decade and European Green Deal, so all of our targets. So I'm really curious to hear, maybe even from your different points of view, from adult education, from business, from rural areas, or feel free to, if you want to comment from another perspective. How would you see this dream? So I will just stop sharing. Is there anyone who wants to start? I have a dream from All Digital, actually. So as we are working on digital inclusion and enhancing digital skills across Europe, actually, I would want to see that everyone had basic digital skills, at least. And in this case, it would be a great Europe where everyone would be able to, regardless of their background, profile, age, everyone would be just comfortably use public services and also benefit from job opportunities. So this would be really a great scenario. And who else? Angeliki, maybe you would follow me.
Yeah, absolutely. I wrote happier because I think that in essence, when everybody feels confident to like move on and can actually visualize a future that is not, all gray and dystopic, we can all be much happier. And in essence, wasn't it John Lennon when he was a kid that they asked him like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he said happy, and then the teacher said, maybe you did not understand the question, and he said, maybe you didn't. And I think that in essence, that's all that we are striving for, to be happier.
And also beside happy, I see in the comments from Anne, one of our participants, more confident. Indeed, I mean, just living in this digital society and future also green society with more confidence. So that has also something to do with happiness and confidence. Almudena, do you have any?
Yeah, from my point of view, focus on rural areas. I think that if by 2030 everyone has, let's say, these basics, I think we will have an inclusive future or an inclusive Europe. In rural areas, sometimes they face more economic, social disadvantages. The infrastructure also have challenges. In some rural areas or small town, they don't have internet connections. So if they have the infrastructure and this inclusiveness, apart from having the skill, we will be in a, let's say, in a real scenario to face all the challenges out to the skill one and the capacitation one, trying to empower economic problems and also to try to reduce any kind of environmental impact. So I think yes, it's ideal, but I mean we are working on improving that. So I'm confident on reach something like this.
Thank you. So we had also, I mean, everyone, regardless of their geographical location setting, would benefit living in this society. Do you want to add anything, Sophie?
Yes, thank you, Celine. I mean, as my the two co-speaker already said, it would be an ideal situation that we are all working very hard towards. From the point of view of the project I'm working on, which is a project on trying to take the most of both the digital and the green and sustainable transitions, I would say it would be a very, very good starting point to try to use digital solutions to live in a more inclusive and sustainable society in which we would not only have greens and environmental goals, but also more broadly goals in terms of the society as a whole and in terms of inclusion.
Thank you. Indeed, they should go hand in hand, digital and green. And we have also a comment from a participant, Belen, if you can unmute. Go ahead, Belen, please.
Okay, thank you very much. First, congrats for the initiative and also for the approach. Of course, it is a first stage. People should have a skill, green aspect, but also on the digital side. But the most important, in my view, I have to say I am the chair of the European Standard on Innovation Management now. But we see is despite people has a skill or knowledge, it should be applied for create value. And create value, it is exactly to deliver innovation. So people feel very frustrated if they have the knowledge, they see the opportunities, but they are unable to create solutions, unable to have customer paying for these solutions and engage stakeholders. So more or less, you are in a very, very good sense of the needs of the market and society. However, I see that maybe some miss area is innovation management skills. That is something very concrete and could help for implement the double transition, because knowledge should be applied in the right manner. Thank you.
Thank you very much for bringing this up. So innovation-oriented skill training and also approach, let's maybe note it like that. And as I also saw your comment about the presentation. So with the permission of speakers, we will share it on the All Digital website and we will inform the participants. And with that, let's start with some insights from projects. So let's start with GreenETU. So our GreenETU project is actually focusing on training vulnerable groups with green and digital skills. And it's a 2-year European Social Fund Plus funded project that will end in July. So we can, our training program is currently being piloted. We are quite at a later stage in the project where we can share some insights with you. So the challenges that we are addressing in this project is obviously 44% of Europeans lack basic digital skills, but it becomes more striking when we consider vulnerable job seekers. Over 50% of vulnerable job seekers lack basic digital skills. So this is a very big challenge for the future. And obviously, they lack basic skills, but this gap is growing every day as we have new green and digital technologies, services, products which need skilling and upskilling. And there is also another dimension where training content tailored to labor market needs for green transition are not there or are not enough. So this is another challenge that we need to address. And when it comes to vulnerable groups, we can talk about low engagement in training. So we need to find alternative ways to really encourage them to complete trainings. And there is still room for improvement in terms of raising awareness on the central role of digital and green skills. So as Sophie mentioned, they should go hand in hand. And we have to ensure that green transition should generate opportunities for everyone and nobody is left behind. So we need everyone in this green economy. And when it comes to solutions, GreenETU, in order to develop the training program, we started with a job trends analysis, so to identify in-demand green jobs. And then we made an analysis of EU competence frameworks, DigComp, AntriComp, and GreenComp, to make a selection of competences that are relevant for these in-demand green jobs. Another aspect that is innovative to the project is the micro-credential certified training program, which will give an opportunity to vulnerable groups to have shorter learning experiences, which are still meaningful to find jobs. And also partnerships with private sector, so that when learners complete these programs, they can already have some job opportunities in the private sector. So just to give you an idea about the job profiles that are targeted with this training, these are job profiles for employment, like educational farm operator, solar panel installer, energy community manager, nature-based solutions operator. And also there is another itinerary of the same training program, which focuses more entrepreneurship, sustainable farming, sustainable forestry management, nature-based solutions for construction, and energy advisor. So as you can see, they are quite concrete job profiles. And our training program is a 5-month, 200-hour, hybrid course with 40 hours of face-to-face sessions. And the training program covers both technical skills that are needed for each specific job that I mentioned, and also a common package of transversal skills, digital, green, and entrepreneurial competences. And we are targeting training 500 people in 5 European countries. So we are at the piloting stage right now. What I want to showcase for this webinar is the approach of the project to use the power of green and digital skills. So a mix and match approach from existing EU frameworks. We actually ran a consultation process, expert focus groups, face-to-face workshops during the earlier stage of the process or project to come up with this selection of competences that make sense for the green jobs that are targeted by the training program. So I guess you are already familiar. Angeliki also mentioned the European frameworks of competences. So DigComp is, of course, the European framework for digital competences, is like our Bible at all digital, as we are working for digital skills. So out of these, we made a selection of 3 competences. I just want to showcase this to concretely show you how each competence can support the learner for a specific job profile. So the competences that we selected are actually basic to advanced competences that will directly help learners to use them in the job profiles. So the first one is managing data information and digital content. It's about organizing, analyzing, interpreting digital data. So basically it's done by using Excel and Google Sheets. The second one is collaboration through digital technologies that helps managing projects and communicating with remote team members, file sharing, task tracking, planning through boards and calendars. So using Google Workspace, MS Teams, Slack, Trello, these kind of tools. And the third one is creatively using digital technologies, which gives the ability to fix everyday digital issues, Wi-Fi, software bugs, device problems, and also includes AI tools, the use of AI tools to solve real-world sustainability challenges and also data protection basics. So when we talk about competence frameworks, we have a sense that these are like a bit of abstract competences. But when we put this in practice, for example, the case of Energy Advisor, one of the job profiles that we are targeting with this training program. So with digital data management, an energy advisor can track energy performance and environmental impact, conduct cost-benefit analysis to guide decisions. With creative use of digital technologies, the learner can design innovative solutions with modeling and simulation software, like low energy buildings, rainwater systems, and they can apply AI-driven tools to develop energy efficiency strategies. And finally, digital collaboration is very interesting because generally in green jobs, the teams are highly specialized and they are at different locations. So with digital collaboration knowledge, the professionals can share project data with other team members. So I will just quickly go through EntreComp and GreenComp. I wanted to focus on digital competences just to give you an idea. But also we selected 3 competences from each EntreComp and GreenComp. So from EntreComp, it's more about creativity, mobilizing resources, learning through experience, which are really like a bit of soft skills to find innovative solutions, make the most out of limited resources, learn from successes and failures. So giving a basic entrepreneurial mindset. And from GreenComp, it focuses more on systems thinking, adaptability, individual initiative. So to approach a sustainability problem from all perspectives, adapting uncertainty, ambiguity, and also for individual initiative, it's about using own potential to contribute to a sustainable future. So these were the competences that we targeted. And what is next? Now we are piloting, but looking towards the future. So we want to scale the training program to more countries, more learners, to vocational education and training systems. And we should keep on analyzing job trends and competence frameworks, because this is an ever-changing situation. And obviously build new partnership to boost employment outcomes, because as Belen said, we need an innovation-oriented skill training. It's also important to consider employment-oriented training, because only offering skills to vulnerable groups is sometimes not enough. You need to also create opportunities. And then advocating for inclusive, flexible micro-learning is about micro-credentials, obviously, to make shorter, meaningful learning experiences. And then exchanging our insights. And I invite all of you also to support the movement for digital inclusion and just transition. So if you are interested in learning more, we have our trend analysis and the comprehensive analysis of the competences, ongoing piloting work, and also if there are any of you who are from VET sector, please get in touch with us if you are curious to learn more about training. You can also find my email here. So this it was more or less the GreenETU project. Feel free, participants, please, if you have any questions, you can drop in the chat. But I have another question for you now. So this is our consortium. Of course, we are not alone. All Digital is a participant who was responsible for competences, but our coordinator is Action Against Hunger, and we have other training and other organizations in our partnership. So this is my question. If you had to teach just one digital or green skill to every adult in Europe, what would it be and why? So for those who want to answer, go ahead, Sasha. Is there anyone?
Well, I could I could jump in a bit if it's okay with everybody, and what I'm thinking as an essential, like both digital and green skill, is logical thinking in this essence of like problem solving, because I think that this is essential for both. We cannot talk about digital skills without, you know, logic, without understanding how something works and how to move forward with that, and we cannot perceive a future, a green future, without solving the problems of the current environment. So I would definitely say problem solving and logical thinking.
If I could continue, I will say that from my point of view, resource efficiency, it's crucial, maybe the most crucial one in the green skill topic, because I think that in rural areas, sometimes they don't think a lot about how to reduce waste, how to reduce energy, and at the end, how to reduce the cost. So from my point of view, reduce resource efficiency is quite important. From the side of the digital skill, I will say digital collaboration tools, because in rural areas, they used to be more isolated. So we need to achieve a kind of synergies connection between different countries, region, whatever. So I think that it's also very important today to be connected through digital tools and try to be innovative and to apply the knowledge that they have.
Thank you. And Sophie, you want to add something?
Yes. Thank you. I think in general, because from the point of view of SMEs and of the Digital for Sustainability project I'm representing here. The idea is, as I said earlier, to try to have to create to have people include both the sustainable skills and the digital ones. So I would say in this context, all the horizontal skills are very, very important. Problem solving is one of them, and all the skills that will support also for example, SME owner or organizational manager to make informed decisions about the twin transition will be critical.
Thank you very much, Sophie. So unless there is another intervention from participants, I will then invite Almudena to go ahead with her presentation, because we are very curious what they are doing to revitalize rural communities for green transition. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much. Let me share the screen. Okay. I think now you see in presentation mode.
Yes, great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So I'm going to go for my presentation. As you have already seen for my intervention, I like, let's say, more focus on the rural areas due to the project that I coordinated, that is New Eco Smart project. Also, as Angeliki mentioned at the beginning, this we were, let's say, together in the European Social Fund call of 2022. So we have the opportunity to start the project in 2023 about the empowerment and the empowerment of digital and green skill to try to do a twin transition. So basically today I will try to explain why we start this initiative, what kind of challenges we identify, what are the solutions that we are proposing, and also how we see the future about this digital and green skills. So basically, let's mention that our challenges are distributed in 4 groups, let's say: digital skill, green skill, social innovation, and habitat sector. Starting for the digital skill challenge, that are mainly the scopus of this webinar, and in general this excellent initiative that Celine and their team are promoting. What has been identified by us is that there is like a kind of low level of digital adoption for workers and companies, but also for citizens. In rural areas, there is a lack of infrastructure. Some of the cities, towns, as I mentioned before, they don't have internet connection, the Wi-Fi, and this kind of basic information, even though when we go to speak with these citizens, they don't have emails account, or even though smartphones. So let's say they are a little bit behind citizens in big cities. So we identify that. Apart from that, of course, there is a limited resources to integrate or improve the city, the towns, etc. And also take constraints always. If you talk with a company, especially a small one that are the SMEs or microfiche that are in rural areas, they told to you, we don't have time, we have to sell, and for sell we need to produce, and we couldn't think on training or in other kind of things that are not producing and selling. So that are the digital skill challenge that we have identified. But at the same time, we identify as well, let's say, some keywords for inspiration, or some keyword that we think that they could support then on or encompass this barrier. That could be access to training, to resources, to opportunities in general, and also the access to innovative technologies. When we move for the green skill challenges, we have identified that they know, let's say, typical word like recycle, they recycle, but they don't know more specific or let's say more up to outdated terms like circular economy or other kind of topics. So what we see is that even though they used to be more circular than us because they try to repair everything, they work in a different way, they don't know exactly the terms and they don't know sometimes how to work to be more sustainable. So on that sense, we identified that it's very important, the training, and specifically for the companies, because company, they don't know, they are not aware of environmental certification, renewable energies, waste management, and another kind of topic. So let's say that the inspiration for solving these green skill challenges could be the implementation on green technologies, sustainable production, and also the way of manage energy, raw material, etc. In terms of social challenges, where we have identified that, as I mentioned also in my intervention for the question of Celine, there is a kind of limitation in the networking or in the community empowerment with other regions or with other part of maybe even in the country. So I think that it's quite important to expand the networking and to try to empower communities and social inclusion. On that sense, it's also very important the generational gap. Generally, in rural areas, people are more they are elderly and they have a kind of this intergenerational problem. So the issue here is also as well to provide funding opportunities and to try to enhance entrepreneurial soft skill, to try to attract more people and to try to have more community network working all together on the same point. So basically, apart from that, even I have not mentioned, our project is focused on the habitat sector that are related to the furniture, to the construction, and all these kind of issues. So here, the problem as well was general. It was that this sector is quite traditional and they have to go a step further in the twin transition. So basically, behind all this problem and besides all this problem, we identified that there is a lot of room for improvement and a lot of work to do. So that is why our initiative New EcoSmart was proposed and launched in 2022 and started just 1 year after. It's after the call of the European Commission. Our idea is to, as I mentioned, revive rural areas, and we are mainly focused to try to empower in adults plus 45 years old, because it's the majority of the population of rural areas, but also, as I mentioned, in terms of companies, also we are focused on SMEs and microfinance. And we are focused on this twin transition, green and digital transition. But at the same time, we are trying to promote all the social entrepreneurship skills, because we consider as well that the transversal skills are quite important. How we are, how are doing our work, what are the kind of solutions that we are proposing in the project and we are already implemented, because the project just will finish us in July, this July. The first structure or proposal from our side is the establishment of a new EcoSmart community, a NEST community. Who could be involved? Any people from rural areas, people that have some expertise in new EcoSmart topic, let's say entrepreneurship, green topics, digital topics, etc. Also, any kind of, let's say, stakeholder. Public actor are more than welcome, private actor as well. They could be from the countries of our project that are Italy, Portugal, and Spain, but also abroad. The issue at the end is to try to have the main objectives of improving the quality of the life of the people and also their skills, and in general also the economic feasibility of the countries, with also this approach to companies. What I could say to you is that our next community is open. We are organizing several webinars and several activities to them. They are people from, as I say, from different target industries, kind of actors. So if there is the link here, the presentation will be shared with you. So you could, if you want, join our next community. Our second solution is training itself. It's we have developed a toolkit to try to promote this adoption of social innovation, but also the twin transition. And this toolkit has like three main pillars. The first one is a mock platform that in general offer, you know, like this kind of flexibility because you could enter 30 every day at any time or from the weeks, and you are individually working on the course. Let's say that we have a course about green topics like legislation, circular economy, business model, resource management, etc. Also, we have a digital part covering topic like digital security, information and data for Auxilio technologies, etc. And for the third part, we have also, as I mentioned, these transversal topics in the MOOC that cover, for example, problem solving, time management, etc. So that is a platform. When you enter, there are several presentations, and after that, also you could obtain some certificates if you just reply correctly to a multiple choice questionnaire. Our second tool is a microlearning tool. It's like, let's say, Duolingo, that everyone knows the app. It's a kind of mobile app where you could find around 5-10 questions per day related to digital topics and also green topics. If you could compete with other people that are also integrated in the shared course, and you see if you are, let's say, in the first position, in the second one, and also we provide to you some feedback about the question that you don't answer properly. Our third next toolbox is like a kind of repository of different sources from European projects and also from other companies that have developed it on the topics of this twin transition. So we propose this repository, and you could enter to them and use their games, the platform, the training courses that they have developed. And our last, let's say, proposal is to try to engage stakeholders in the projects. As you know, in general, European projects have, let's say, budget for only the consortium, but we have implemented a new hackathon in September and in October to propose to the participants the challenges that we have identified, and I also mentioned to you at the beginning of my presentation. So there was like a kind of competition, and we gave 3 prizes per piloting countries in Spain, Italy, and Portugal, from people from that country or abroad, but they want to, let's say, cover the challenges of these 3 countries that are the piloting of our projects. And they receive a monetary budget prize after finalizing with the winners. They are quite interesting projects. I also have the opportunity to manage this activity and to lead this activity, and I could say that's the most important point here is the different opinion, the different point of view, and having and making the floor for different people allow you to see different approaches for the same challenges. And the last activity that we are now implementing is an open call. We funded 3 projects that want also to work in our challenges, and at the moment they are trying to solve the project and the challenges, the skill challenges, in with around 20,000 euros for a project of 4 months. So in general, that has been also very positive for us, because we see other organizations that maybe alone they couldn't obtain enough resources, and we are given the resources to implement in real situations. And just to conclude my presentation, what is my idea of the looking forward, or what are the key topics and challenges that I think that we need to overcome in the coming years, let's say. I think that is the digital inclusion, especially for adult plus 45 years old. Also this green and digital skill integration that we have talking since the beginning of this webinar, and also, let's say, more practical skill development. Sometimes I have the feeling that there is so much resources, but most of them are, let's say, theoretical. So we need to try to empower local champions, to have a partnership with local institutions, make some mentorship programs. I mean, there is a lot of kind of opportunity as ways to proceed, but I think that we need to try to overcome this challenge of digitalization, the resistance to change, and also the lack of resources. So basically, that's my presentation. I would like to thank you, all of you, for your attention, and especially thank you for Celine and their team for allowing me to present the project. Here you have our social media, our website, and also my contact. So in case that you want to go further or you need any kind of explanation, I'm here at your disposal. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Almudena. So in each presentation, of course, we see unique challenges and also solutions. So in the case of rural areas, then we see, as you say, lack of infrastructure and low level of adoption. Also the need for empowerment of communities comes forward. And also in your case, we see that your training is accompanied with hackathon and social innovation. So that's something that was addressed with the questions. I think your project presents an interesting example in that respect as well. So thank you. Now you talked about companies in rural areas. So we are curious to hear, Sophie, about what are their plans to empower SMEs and industries, especially in the ICT sector and beyond, I guess. Sophie, please go ahead.
Thank you very much, Celine. Let me start my presentation. Yes,
I think in digital green digital transition, maybe we will only have one button to share this presentation. It's still incredible. The technology has developed so much, but not yet for sharing presentations, no? A feedback for Teams.
Can you see my screen okay?
Not really, not yet.
Not yet. Okay, sorry.
It's okay. It's technology's fault, as I said.
Always.
Now it's good.
Now it's good. Perfect. So thank you very much, Celine. Good afternoon to everyone. I'm very happy to be a part of this webinar today and to talk to you about Digital for Sustainability. It's a project that is funded under Erasmus Plus program. And so we are, as Digital SME Alliance, we are an SME organization representing small businesses in the digital sector, and we are coordinating this project, Digital for Sustainability. We have we are a consortium of almost 30 partners, which are universities in Europe, as well as training centers, and also a representative of industry. Yes. So the challenges and the reason why this project exists is to try to work towards, as I was mentioning in my intervention, to try to work toward the integration of the two shifts that are the sustainable shift and the digital shift in our societies, in our economies. and try as well to make sure that the solutions that are developed in the digital sector can have an impact on the sustainability of the society and on the environment. And obviously, the idea behind that is also to develop innovations, to allow the companies to be equipped with the necessary skills to develop some innovation and some innovative strategies and tools to make that will support the environment and the sustainable society as a whole. So this project is a 4-year project. So we are at the beginning because we just started our 2nd year of projects. So we are not as advanced as the other projects that were presented. We are still trying to define a lot of things, but as you will see, we're working on this. So here you have the list of our partners. So university.
Sophie, sorry, maybe you can make it full screen to be more visible.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, super. Yes, so our goal is to develop and implement innovative training programs that provide professional and businesses with the skills and knowledge needed to strive in a rapidly evolving landscape where digital technology and sustainability intersect. So why this project? This project replied to many challenges, and it's try, as I was saying, to try to anticipate the skills that will be needed in a shift that is currently that will have a very important impact on the labor market, as it's an emerging transformation. It's our goal and our challenge is to identify the skills that will be needed and to equip the workforce with adapted skills. What we see in the SMEs is that these transformations are requiring some decisions, and that the skills that are needed are really the core of their ability to adapt to these changes. So we are working on these things. I will try to just explain how we can consider that both green and digital transition are reinforcing each other, and it's there are many aspects in this, but one of the most important one is to consider that the digital sector as the capacity to drive and to innovate in a way that should be sustainable. So at the beginning of the project, we had in mind, the consortium was wanted to base all the work on the twin transition, so meaning the green and the digital transition. And as we are working in the project and as we are discussing, we are also trying to enlarge the scope of the project, not only to limit the work that we are doing on environmental issues and on green issues, but to try to have a more inclusive approach and to consider the concept of sustainability as a whole. So what we are developing in this project is that we started with a need analysis to have a look at the challenges, the gaps, to identify the main gaps, knowing that, as I was saying before, as we are working on an emerging sector, this analysis will need to be to update it on a regular basis. And we have just finalized the digital sustainability skills strategy, which is a strategy for the sector that I will present you in a later stage. And then we are starting now to identify the educational profile, the accreditation criteria, and the certification framework. And then in the last phase, we will we will develop the learning pilot and develop the learning program and develop and pilot them. So in the skill analysis that was finalized in October, and that you can find also on the Digital for Sustainability project website, the main findings were that managers and business owners need to know the possibility of digital solution to support sustainability, that there is a need of awareness raising and of the possibility that this new field can bring to the company, and how the businesses can deal with that and reorganize their internal processes, and also map the skills that are needed within their company. There is also a demand for M-shaped professional. This means that we have identified that so we can have some professionals that are skilled and specialized in digital in the digital sector, and we also will need more and more specialists in sustainability issues. But what is increasingly needed as well are professionals that will be specialized in both fields, and probably as well in another field in a field that will be a sector, a specific sector, for example, agriculture or transport, and that means that what we saw in this skill analysis is that we are going towards a need for more specialized profiles, but that are also but there is also a need for some horizontal skills, because the increasing of the complexity of the new role will need a mix of technical expertise as well as transversal skills. So the finding also of the skill strategy are that for trainings to be efficient, there will need to be modular, short programs that would be key for the upskilling of professionals in digital for sustainability. This is something we already discussed before. We would need to have we need to have an upskilling of digital professional to include sustainable skills and the other way around, and also the knowledge of data law standards is also an increasing need for the companies, for the businesses. In terms of what would be needed in education and trainings, there is a need to develop some sustainability skills in the already existing digital trainings, and the other way around. So this is the roadmap that we developed for in the framework of our skill strategy. It will be published in few days. We have identified some strategic objectives in order to to work within the project, but also after the time frame of the project. So this strategy is meant to also continue to be implemented also by an alliance, a community of digital for sustainability stakeholders that we are creating and that will be launched in May. So the first strategic objective is the monitoring the demand for and supply of digital sustainability skills and role. The second one is to facilitate and guide education and training. Then we would develop, maintain, and promote a validation framework for learning outcomes. And here we will develop, maintain, and promote a certification framework, including micro-credential, and also design and promote a quality label for digital sustainability learning programs. We are planning, and as we have identified, some needs of awareness raising, and this will be done to establish pathways in two ways. First, to create pathways to share resources and best practices for digital sustainability challenges, and also to organize some awareness raising campaign initiatives on digital sustainability topics and learning opportunities. Then we are planning to tackle a very important issue, which is the promotion of a supporting regulatory framework that will be implemented through the development of a roadmap for integrating digital sustainability skills into education policies and framework at national and European levels, and also advocating for financial and regulatory frameworks that will support skill development for the digital sustainability. Then the last point will be strengthening the cooperation between stakeholders. And this is the reason why we are planning to create this community of digital sustainability stakeholders. But it will also facilitate the collaboration between education, training provider, and industry to make sure that the training that we develop are responding to the needs of the industry, and that, as we discussed before, are not just the transmission of skills, but that they can be turned into actual opportunities and development in the SMEs. And then we will encourage cross-border and cross-sectoral mobility. So as I was saying, the skill strategy will also be available on our website that is here. We also have a linking and we have a newsletter. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sophie. We wish you the best for next steps. So in future events, I'm sure we will hear more about new steps and outcomes of your project. And also, I think here I can directly connect from where we started with Angeliki, because when we talk about digital upskilling, this should be linked with lifelong learning and adult education. So a lifelong learning approach, continuous development. So this is, I think, important to highlight. I see we are, I think, a bit away from our time limit, but I see Edmundo who wants to ask a question. Edmundo is from UPM, a GreenEdu partner, our university partners from Spain. Edmundo, please. Edmundo, can you unmute yourself if you would like to still ask a question? Okay, or otherwise you can then add in the chat or just send me if you have any question to any of the speaker. I will help you. So, well, what can I say? This was really an interesting webinar. Thanks a lot for sharing all these different perspectives. Thanks a lot to the participants who survived, even it's beyond the duration. So we hope to see you in another webinar during the All Digital Weeks. Thanks to everyone. Thanks to speakers.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. As always, it's
Thank
been
you.
great. Thank you.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.